We have seen separability properties which tell us there are enough open sets so that there are real valued functions on it, and amazingly enough, just a general topological hypothesis tells you is enough to guarantee functions on it. We'll eventually see to even guarantee the space comes from a metric, topological space comes from a metric. But countability properties sort of work in the opposite direction. They prevent too many open sets, but not to try to say that topology isn't too fine, discrete topology on say Q is fine, but to prevent the space from being too big. So in R will be satisfy all these countability properties, but R with discrete topology will not, because it's an uncountable set. So topologically countable in some sense. So there are three of them. Let's define the first. So the first is not directly used that much because it's equivalent to the second wherever it's used, but it's you'll see it commonly in statements. That will become clearer what I said when we see one theorem. So definition, so let's say X is a topological space throughout. X is separable if X has a countable dense set. Okay, so example is that real numbers R are separable. R is separable. R is a topological space as usual, as the rational numbers in R are dense. You may wonder why we have this kind of hypothesis, but if you have seen convergence of functions, Arzela, Ascoli, and so on, you often look at sequences and you look at the value of functions on sequences like Q. So it's useful to look at the countable. If you have a sequence of functions, you look at it on a sequence. If you're countable, you have it, and you can think of diagonals and so on. So separability is useful. As I said, not so much directly as through its indirect. Well, so that was an example where we use separability as is. Okay, so let me write that more clearly. We use separable in Arzela, Ascoli, and so on. But it is often better to have this postulate instead. X is second countable, so it satisfies the second countability axiom. If there is a countable basis. Basis for the topology on X. Okay, this is a strict refinement of separability. Let me call this a theorem anyway because it's important, and the idea of the proof is once you see it, it's clear what's going on, but is also important. So suppose X is second countable. Then X is separable. Okay, so I have to construct a dense set. Well, we have a countable basis, right? So let whatever B be a countable basis. And for, let's say, U in Bx, so U in B, pick a point. Let's call it X sub U in U. We just pick a point in the basis, and now let S be, we can look at the collection of these points, S be union of XU with U in the basis. So we have a basis and we are picking points in it. Okay, so then claim is that S is dense. Okay, so the proof is actually quite easy. So given, what do we want to say? W open, W non-empty. There exists U in B such that U is contained in W. By the way, I have assumed implicitly here that the basis doesn't contain the empty set. If it does, throw it away. Makes no difference. There exists U, it still remains a basis. There is such that XU U is in W. Hence, X U So this is belongs to U is contained in W. Okay, so we have, but this is a point in S. So if we have any open set, well, there's much more true for a basis, but certainly it contains a basis vector, and take the point in the basis vector. So when you're second countable, you're dense. Well, what about the converse? Well, before giving an example, let me note the main theorem. Namely, let X be a metric space. So if X is separable, then X is second countable. So as I was commenting earlier, context of separability is usually a hypothesis in the case of metric spaces, complete separable metric spaces, for instance, and there it is equivalent to second countability. In a moment we'll see why I said second countability is better hypothesis to have. Proof is just that if S contained in X is a countable dense set, then I'm going to just state what a basis is. Basis of X is, you look at the balls around X of radius R such that X is in S. Well, there are too many radii, but R is greater than 0 and also R is rational numbers. So just look at rational radii. This is a basis for much the same reason as unit balls are radii. Okay, because given a point and given an open set, it contains an open ball. Take a near enough point in S, because which exists inside this open ball because of S being dense, and then take a ball around this of rational radius which engulfs this and is contained in the other ball. Triangle inequality will let you do this. Okay, so, well, maybe I should have been clearer. Sorry, let me be clearer. So I'm not writing the proof, but I will still sketch it a bit, draw a picture clearly. So I have a point here, X, and I have an open set. Okay, so now I can find a point, so I can find a ball contained in this of some radius R. Let's take a ball of half the radius or even 1/3 the radius, and I can find a point S in it, which is in the separable dense set S. Okay, the countable dense set S. Okay, and now I take a ball of radius which is rational but a little less than R by 2 surrounding this, and because S, the distance between S and X is strictly less than R by 2, if I took the rational number which is between that and R by 2, this distance and R by 2, this ball is actually contains X, and it's also contained in this ball of radius R and hence in U. So this was in pictures, similar kind of proof to what we have seen before. So I have skipped a few details, at least I didn't write them down, but this is the picture. So if you're metric space, then being separable, you're second countable. What if you're not a metric space? Well, there are pathological examples and there are interesting examples. So first, a pathological example. Let's take a set. So example, let's take X equals R union infinity, but with an entirely different topology, with omega being the set of all A such that infinity is in A, or of course the empty set. So this is a topology. It's almost like a discrete topology, except that every set has to have infinity in it. For the rest, it's like a discrete topology. Okay, so easy to see that unions of such sets, well, they contain infinity, so they're dense, and finite intersections, also one of them is empty, or they all contain infinity. So on R, this is the discrete topology, but everything comes. Then we have a countable dense set. Then infinity is dense. Just the singleton set infinity is dense. So X is separable. How about second countable? X is not second countable. As if B is a basis, and x belongs to R, then there exists U in B, well, such that what happens? Well, let's look at an open set containing X, such that X belongs to U and U is contained in the pair X infinity. Because this is an open set, this is a point in the open set, so there must be a basis, so which implies that U equals X infinity. Therefore, B contains the pairs X infinity, X in R, which is uncountable. So the basis must contain an uncountable set. So here we have the separability. So that example we saw, which was separable but not second countable, was rather pathological. So what if we assume things are Hausdorff and so on? Suppose we assume reasonable conditions. Can we still have separable but non-countable? Well, here's an important example. It's the topology of convergence from the right hand side. So Sorgenfrey line is the topology on R. It's still real numbers with basis being A, B half open intervals. Okay, so open intervals are still open. So let me just directly say this is finer than the usual topology. And you can see, so it's called lower limit topology, because you can see that if I have a line and a point on it, sequence converges to it means it must approach from the right. So finitely many may be on the left, but eventually it must be on the right and get closer and closer. If you approach on the left, you won't be in a neighborhood which starts at this point A. So this is finer than the usual topology, but for our claim is, so Q is still dense. Okay, so this is separable. Of course, having more open set means density becomes more stringent, but you can see any basic open set still contains a rational number. So I should clarify here that of course A is less than B. And there's a rational number between A and B, so it's still in this set. And the proposition is, this is not the Sorgenfrey line. Is not second countable. So let's take a basis and we'll show it's uncountable. Slightly similar to what we did last time. So let B be a basis. Except this time what we do is we take a point X and we look at the open set X to X plus 1 and the point X in it. Okay. Then given X in R, there exists a basis vector, let's call it some Ix in B or Ux. So Ux in B, such that X belongs to Ux and Ux is contained in X comma X plus 1. Okay, so it's a basis vector and it begins at X and it ends at X plus 1. Okay, so this means hence Ux, the basis of the basis must, let me make a precise statement. What can you say about Ux? Well, it contains X, the point X, and it contains nothing to the left of X. Hence, infimum of X infimum of Ux, I can simply call it, is X for all X in R. What does this tell you? Therefore, X is not equal to Y implies Ux is not equal to Uy. Okay, but all sets Ux are in B. So what we see is that we have an injection, so that is X maps to Ux. So this is from R to B is an injection, is 1 to 1, is 1 1, but all sets Ux are in B. So that's what this is, hence B is uncountable. So we could not pass. So if you go back to the proof we did for metric spaces, for intervals, we are taking rational points and rational radii. You could instead, or equivalently in fact, think of intervals with both endpoints being rational. But when you have half open intervals, the left endpoint being rational is not enough to form a basis in this topology. Okay, because you cannot put up slightly on the side of x. X is absolutely lowest. So we have seen separability and second countability. Both these are properties that will tell you that a space is not too large globally. We'll next see first countability, which tells you in some sense locally also a space is not too large.